surfaces of a definitive cast. That means the cast which you are pouring, either it could be a primary cast or a secondary cast, that is your plaster or stone. Onto that cast we are adapting some material to get that shape. So on a definitive cast to form a base which together with an attached occlusal rim made of wax or similar material serves as the record base. So when you tell the denture base plate, the previously when I showed the diagram, that is the denture base plate. On that, when you are making the occlusal rim, you call together as a record base. So that is some base material which is helping you to record something. So together it is called as a record base. So on to the edentulous cast, whatever you are adapting, either wax or shellac material or a polymer material, that will be your base plate on which you are fabricating the occlusal rim. So occlusal rim also can be manufactured, can be fabricated either with wax or with some other materials, which we'll discuss in detail later. So all together it is called as a record base. It can also be defined as, this is another definition, a record base or a base plate is a temporary form representing the base of a denture. It is used in recording the maxillomandibular relations and in the arrangement of teeth. That means, so if a patient has come with completely edentulous condition, that means the patient is not having a single tooth, completely edentulous ridges. So for that patient, you are planning to give a removable complete denture. Okay, so to fabricate that there are different steps. So first you have to make the impression, you have to get the model. On that you are preparing some special tray of kind to make the secondary impression. On that you will get the secondary or the master cast. On that you have to make a denture base material. So what will happen, whatever procedures you are doing in the oral cavity, you should have some hard substance to hold exactly how the ridge looks like. So for all that you have to do the laboratory procedure. So here this record base is used as a temporary material to get the final process, to do the teeth arrangement procedures or to record the maxillomandibular relationship. So this is a temporary or a permanent material. So what all the basic properties or what are the criteria which have to be present or to be fulfilled by a record base is, so Winkler is a person who has given a lot of techniques, who have discovered different materials which are being used in dentistry. So this person, according to Winkler, there are certain criteria which have to be fulfilled by the record based material. So first thing is, whatever material we are using to adapt onto the cast, it should be well adapted and accurately formed to the final cast. That means we are adapting it onto we are fabricating it on a cast. Okay, when you are removing it, it should exactly fit into the oral cavity also. There should not be any gap between your cast and your denture based material. If there is any gap, what will happen? It will become loose into the patient's oral cavity. Or whenever you are doing any procedure onto that, it will have a rocking nature by which we will not get it will not be in a stable position. So for that, whatever material we are using, it should be well adapted and accurately formed to the final cast. The second one is, it should be stable both onto the cast and mouth and fabricated from stable materials. That means that particular material should not have like shrinking or expanding properties. For suppose we are making a denture base of 1 centimeter size. Okay, that 10 centimeter, if it shrinks, what will happen? There is a groove or a depression on the cast. So into that we are placing the material. If that material is shrinking after 2 days or 3 days, what will happen? If we use it in the patient's oral cavity after 3 days, it will not fit into the oral cavity. It will become loose. If it gets expanded, what will happen? It will not fit into the oral cavity. That means whatever material we are using to fabricate, it should be stable on both cast and the oral cavity. That means if the size of the cast is similar to the patient's oral cavity, so whatever we are doing here, this should be exactly replicated or placed in the oral cavity. It should be stable without any shrinking or expansion properties. Then how can you say that it is not having it is shrinking or compensating is, as I have told you in gypsum products, normal setting expansion, hygroscopic setting expansion. That means after complete setting, there is a certain percentage of expansion, 0.1 or 0.5 percentage of expansion chances, right? So this material also should not have any such shrinkage or expansion procedures. Why? Because if that happens, the final process will be affected. Then the third criteria is it should be easily removed from the cast. So when you are doing all the procedure on the cast, then you have to remove it and use in the patient's oral cavity. That means it should be removed from the cast without any breakage or without any flexibility. Like it should not become more flexible. It should be stable enough. It should not break the cast, and the denture base itself also should not break. Then the fourth criteria is it should be free of voids or projections on the surface that contains the oral mucosa. So um, consider this mobile. Okay, this is the base of the cast. On this you are adapting the material. Okay, and then you are removing it. So when you are adapting or when you are doing this material on this, if there are any projections into that, okay, what will happen? It will create voids onto the denture base material. కాస్ట్ మీద మీరు ఏం చేశారు, ఇంప్రెషన్ తీశారు. ఇంప్రెషన్ తీసేటప్పుడు ఇంప్రెషన్ సరిగ్గా ఫ్లో అవ్వకపోతే ఇంప్రెషన్ రిమూవ్ చేసిన తర్వాత సర్ఫేస్ మీద చూస్తే ఏమొస్తుంది, చిన్న చిన్న కన్నాల్లాగా. అంటే లైక్ ఇట్ విల్ నాట్ కంప్లీట్లీ రెప్లికేట్ దట్ సర్ఫేస్. యూ కెన్ సీ సమ్ voids or depressions. So that void should not be there. Okay, when that voids will come, if there are any elevations on the cast. For suppose consider the maxillary tuberosity area or the retromolar pad area in the mandible. So there, as there is a projection, when you are making impression and removing, you can see that depression. So replicating the anatomical surface is fine. But if there are any small elevations or depressions onto the cast, and if those are replicated onto the impression, what will happen? It will also create some depression and elevations on the impression, right? Similarly, when you are making a denture base on the cast, even the inner surface of that denture base should not have any elevations or voids. If there are any elevations or projections, what will happen? When we are placing it in the patient's oral cavity, it will impinge the soft tissue. It will impinge the oral mucosa or on the palatal region. Wherever we are placing, it will create some damage over there. So for that, the denture base surface, everything should be free of voids and it should not have any projections or elevations. Then the other criteria is it should be approximately 2 mm in the hard palate area. So you are doing the denture base, you are adapting, or there are different methods now. You are adapting. After removing it, when you see the thickness of the material, it should be 2 mm thick. Okay, it should not be more wider or it should not be more thin. It should be 2 mm thick. The dimensions should be, the thickness of the denture base should be 2 mm, not more than that, not less than that. What will happen if it is less than that? As it is very thin, it is more flexible and it can be broken down. If it is very thick, what will happen? When we are doing any procedure, excess pressure have to be applied to record the underlying, or excess pressure will be applied onto the underlying tissues. Then the final criteria is it should be smooth and rounded. So if it is smooth, what will happen? As it is smooth, it will not impinge any soft tissues, and for us also it will be easy to do the procedures. And rounded means all the borders, that is in the sulcus area and all, it should be rounded enough, smooth enough, such that it will not impinge the vestibular areas in the oral cavity. Okay, then these criteria are given by the Winkler. There are other criteria which are given by other person called as Eller in 1985. So what he told is the denture based material, it should adapt to the tissues like a finished denture. That means so suppose here this is a denture base which has been adapted properly onto the cast. So So when we place this denture base in the patient's oral cavity also, it should fit properly without any gaps in these border areas like a final denture. Final denture, why we are telling this? So whenever we are giving the prosthesis to the patient uses the prosthesis and he will do all the activities like mastication, swallowing, speech, all the activities, whatever we are doing, patient also will do. So whenever he is doing those functional activities, the denture or the prosthesis which is being placed into the oral cavity, it should be holding the tissues properly. Full fit should be there. It should not come out of it when the activity is being taking place. So whatever denture base we are doing, either it is a temporary use also, it should fit exactly like a final process without any loosening effect or without any rocking effect. Okay. The extent and shape of the border should resemble a finished denture. That means a final denture, how it will look, it should be aesthetically acceptable. Okay, all the borders in the sulcus area and all, it should not impinge, it should be rounded and all. So all those should be present even in the temporary denture base material or a trial denture base. Then it should be strong enough to withstand the occlusal loads. So this denture base plate, on that we are making the occlusal rim, we are placing in the oral cavity, we are asking the patient to close the mouth and we are recording the maxillomandibular relation. అంటే టీత్ ఉండేటప్పుడు maxillary teeth ఏ హైట్ వరకు ఉండేవి, mandible teeth ఏ హైట్ వరకు ఉండేవి, maxillary arch ఎంత వరకు ఉండేది, ఆ హైట్, ఓవరాల్ హైట్, విడ్త్ అవన్నీ మన పేషెంట్ నోట్ లో అసెస్ చేసి రికార్డ్ చేస్తాం. ఆ రికార్డ్ చేయడం దాన్నే జా రిలేషన్స్ అంటాం. ఈ డెంచర్ బేస్ ప్లేట్ మీద అక్లూజన్ రింగ్ పెట్టి పేషెంట్ నోట్ లో పెట్టి చెక్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు ద అండర్లైన్ డెంచర్ బేస్ మెటీరియల్ షుడ్ బి స్ట్రాంగ్ ఇనఫ్ టు విత్స్టాండ్ ఆల్ దీస్ అక్లూజన్ లోడ్స్. సో వెన్ పేషెంట్ ఈస్ క్లోజింగ్ ద మౌత్, biting, we are recording the relationship. So when the patient is biting, the underlying material should be strong enough. If not, what will happen? The denture base will break. So it should able to withstand all those occlusion loads. Then the fourth one is it should be dimensionally stable and should be suitable to allow the teeth arrangement. As I told you, there should not be any shrinkage or expansion, and it should be suitable to allow teeth arrangement. That means on the occlusal rings, we should be able to do modifications to do all the teeth arrangement procedures. Then it should have a pleasant color, like as aesthetically acceptable on the gingiva, similar to the gingiva. Teeth should be white, matching to the patient's skin tone and all the shapes of the teeth. All those should be present. Then it should not be very thick and should be rigid enough in thin section. So it should be 2 mm thick. That 2 mm thickness is for required rigidity. It should not be more flexible, and it should at the same time it should be rigid enough to withstand all these occlusal loads. Finally, it should not react with the tissues. That means biocompatibility. So what will happen if there are any release of byproducts or anything, as it is placed in the oral cavity, if any byproducts are released or any toxic materials are released, those will be inhaled or swallowed by the patient. It may affect the systemic disorders. Or if there is any byproducts released, they may react with the oral mucosa or the buccal mucosa, and they may cause allergic reaction. So it should not react with any tissues which are present in the oral cavity. That means it should be biocompatible. So these are the requirements, any material which we are using for making a denture base plate. Now, so what are the different materials which can be used or for making the base plates or the record base material? So there are classification. When you see, you can tell as either temporary or permanent. By the name, you can tell that temporary means they can be used for a temporary purpose, for maybe for doing a particular step, or maybe for a 2 to 3 days usage kind of thing. Permanent is a permanent final process which can be used for lifetime or for maximum time. So these materials are examples of temporary denture based materials. One is the autopolymerizing resin, that is the self-cure acrylic resin. Then the shellac based material. Then the vacuum formed vinyl polystyrene. That is a transparent sheets, thermoplastic sheets are available which are adapted onto the cast with the help of vacuum. There will be some machine where vacuum will be applied. Due to that vacuum pressure, this sheet will get expanded and get adapted onto the cast. I'll show it later. Then base plate wax. So all these materials can be used as temporary base plate materials. That means we cannot give a final process to a patient arranging teeth on a shellac base plate and asking the patient to use these dentures for lifetime. Why? Because this will have certain disadvantages and all. Similarly, permanent means they can be used for the final process. That are the heat cure acrylic resin material, then gold, cobalt chromium, and the chromium nickel alloys. So these are the materials which can be used as permanent denture base materials. So here mainly we are discussing as auto polymerizing resin and heat cure acrylic resin. So these are nothing but the self cure and light cure acrylic resins. So the denture based materials or the dental polymers which was being started in the last class, that chapter explains you exactly what is a self cure, what is a heat cure, what is a light activated polymer materials. Here just I'll tell you what is the technique of doing that. There they will tell you what is the composition, what is the like they will there the advantages and disadvantages chemical reactions will be explained. Here the procedure or the fabrication procedure will be explained here. One second. No. మీకు మాయ వచ్చేసాను కాల్ బ్యాక్ చేయి కాల్ బ్యాక్ చెయ్యమ్మా చేస్తున్నాడు డాడీకి చేస్తున్నాడు వదిలి ఇక్కడ పెట్టింది so these are the different materials which are used for making temporary or permanent denture based materials. So here the first one is the auto cure acrylic resin or the self cure acrylic resin. So this auto cure or self cure acrylic resin, it is available as a powder and liquid. Okay, there will be a powder and liquid which together is mixed to form a consistency with which we do a denture base, which is called as a self cure denture base material. Okay, so here when we see the composition of auto cure acrylic resin, the powder contains all these compounds, whereas the liquid contains these different materials. The powder consists of polymethyl methacrylate, benzoyl peroxide, compounds of mercuric sulfide, zinc and titanium oxide, dibutyl halate, and dyed organic fillers. Whereas liquid contains methyl methacrylate, dimethyl phenolidate. So here all these materials, one will act as activator, one will act as inhibitor, one will act as retarder, one will act as initiator. So these all terms will be explained in that particular chapter. So this denture base which you have been explaining you from last, I'm showing you, this is the denture base made up of auto cure or the self cure acrylic resin. Okay, this is the self cure or a temporary denture base material, temporary denture base plate. So this is how it looks, the final denture base it will look adapting onto the cast. So the advantages of this self cure denture base material is, so if we are using this denture self cure denture base material to make a denture base, there are advantages like it is having a good strength and no need for reinforcement. That means, what do you mean by reinforcement is adding some material to that, adding some impurities or any material to that to improve its properties. For suppose like how I'll tell you. So gypsum products, if you see a stone or a plaster, you are mixing and you are pouring the cast. It is strong enough. Okay, it will, if you throw it from one floor, it will break. Okay, there is a dye stone. If you throw it from the second floor, it may break. So to increase its strength or to increase its properties, what we do is we add some materials such that even though if we throw it from first floor, it will not break. Similarly, here also, this denture based material will have good strength, enough strength. We no need to add any other materials to improve its strength. So there is no need of that reinforcement. Then it is having good dimensional stability. That means that shrinkage or expansion is not to more extent. It is very limited, which may not affect the final processes. Then third is it does not grab during manipulation. So when we are doing the denture base with the self cure material, it will not wrap around. It will be easy to manipulate. And finally, closely fit to the master cast. So when we are doing on the cast and to the oral cavity, it will, as it is not having any shrinkage or expansion, the fit of the cast or the fit of the denture base is good. So these are the advantages of self-cure denture-based material. So at the same time, these are having some disadvantages also. So what are the disadvantages are? First is it requires more time in fabrication. So the method when we are using this material to make a denture base, it may take a longer time. It's difficult to control the thickness. So when we are doing it, there are two methods called finger adaptation or sprinkle-on, which I'll tell you in the next slide. So there will be no control of thickness. When we are doing, we cannot assess the thickness. Either it may be very thin or it may become more than the required thickness. So it is difficult to control the thickness. Then the third is residual monomer can cause irritation to the oral tissue. So here we are adding some powder and we are adding liquid and again adding powder and again adding liquid and we are doing the processes. For this, like how in the gypsum products, some amount of water is used and remaining water is evaporated. Here also some amount of monomer, the liquid is called as monomer and the powder is called as polymer. So that liquid monomer, when we are adding, we will add little more. In that only certain monomer is used for the reaction and some excess monomer is left, which is called as residual monomer. So this residual monomer is more in case of self-cure denture base. So what will happen if it is more? It may cause irritation to the oral tissues. So these are the disadvantages of self-cure denture base material. So what are the different methods for making a denture base using the self-cure denture base material, that is the auto-cure. The different methods are sprinkle-on method, finger adapted Dow method, flasking method and wax confine method. These are the names of different methods by which we can do a denture base using the self-cure denture base material. Okay, so first is the sprinkle-on method. So sprinkle-on method is nothing but what do you understand by sprinkle? We are sprinkling something. So on the cast also we sprinkle some powder and some monomer, polymer, monomer, polymer, monomer of the required thickness on all over the area. Once it sets, it will remove. So that is called as sprinkle-on method. So to make a denture base using the self-cure acrylic resin using sprinkle-on method, the different steps are first. So all you can see this cast. So this is similar to your master cast. Okay, the stone cast which you are pouring into a mold which you are using. Okay, yellow color stone. So this is the maxillary cast. So here this ridge you can see the maxillary ridge, right? So all the maxillary, tuberosity, papilla, everything will be present. The sulcus is there, posterior palatal seal area is there. All the areas are present. So on this you have to make a temporary denture base. So now if you are making this denture base using the sprinkle-on method, what you have to do is, first you have to identify the undercut area. What do you mean by undercut area is, so here, all of you can see the arrow, right? So this cursor where I am placing, here there will be a depression. So this depression and elevations are there, no? In some places there will be more depressed. So manam, for suppose, the ridge is like this. Okay, all of you can see here. The ridge is like this, right? So here, if there is more underlying area, ఎక్కువ depressed గా ఉందనుకోండి, మనం straight గా పెడితే ఈ మధ్యలో ఒక ఏరియా అనేది బ్లాక్ అయి ఉంటుంది. So that area is called as undercut. Okay, that will be explained in detail later, or when you come to college. All of you can pass the carver or any straight instrument, either a scale or a carver, on the ridge like this. So complete ridge మొత్తానికి స్కేల్ యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కాంటాక్ట్ లో అవ్వదు, ఓన్లీ కిందన పైన క్రెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద రిడ్జ్ దగ్గర కాంటాక్ట్ అవుతుంది, మధ్యలో చిన్న స్పేస్ కనిపిస్తుంది, ఆ స్పేస్ నే మనం అండర్ కట్ ఏరియా అంటాం. అలాంటి అండర్ కట్ ఏరియాస్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటే కనుక మనం డెంచర్ బేస్ చేసేటప్పుడు when we are doing the procedure, that material will flow into that area. So once it gets set, while removing, the cast may break or the denture may break because it has been got set into that underlying area. So when we are removing it, it will not come easily. So when these areas are more, those should be blocked out. Blocked out ante enti, it should be closed. So that block out is done using the wax or some other materials. So first what we have to do is, first we have taken a cast, we have to check those undercut areas and we have to block. Usually where the undercut areas are present, anteriorly here, okay, and posteriorly here. These are the most common areas where the undercuts are present. So that block out has to be carried out. Okay, then we have to apply the separating media to the cast. Why we have to apply the separating media is, separating medium is nothing but any solution which helps us to separate two different materials. So now if we are doing a denture base onto this separating media, whatever we are applying, it helps us to separate the cast and the final set denture base material. So we have to block out all the undercuts, then we have to apply the separating media and we have to wait until the separating medium gets dried. Okay, first koncham wet ga untadi, then until it dries we have to wait for 1 to 2 minutes. Once all the separating media has set and dried, now the procedure starts. So what happens is, there is a container called dropper. Okay, in that we place the powder and we take the monomer, that is liquid, into the syringe, and from one area alternatively we start adding the polymer and monomer. Ante koncham powder vestam, liquid vestam, react ayi set avutadi, dan meeda malli powder vestam, malli liquid vestam, alaga all the areas we have to place. Till what level we have to place is assuming the thickness. That is why we told you there is no control of the thickness, it is very difficult to control the thickness. So here when we are adding some polymer and monomer, after some time we don't know how much thickness it has come. So checking that all over the areas, we start applying the polymer and monomer and we start fabricating it. So here I will show you one video, you will understand how it will So all of you can see I have opened a YouTube video.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So now when I'm showing this video, I'll explain you what actually going on. I'm not able to see you, so do respond and listen properly. Okay. So first, this is the maxillary cast. Okay. Now this video will show you what exactly sprinkle on technique is and how to do a denture base using this sprinkle on technique. So this is the maxillary cast. First you have to mark all the anatomical landmarks. So first you are drawing the incisive papilla. Okay. So this will give you the position of your incisors. Then next you have to draw the mid-palatine raphe. Then the rugae. Then the maxillary tuberosity. So this maxillary tuberosities will tell you till where the teeth have to be arranged. The teeth have to be arranged 1 mm below, above the tuberosity area. That means okay, then you are drawing the midline. So this will be your one midline. Then the CPC line, that is the canine papilla line. That whatever lines you are drawing, it should extend onto the base or land area of the cast. So this line will tell you where the canine have to end. Till there the canine to canine arrangement have to be done. So here to here the red line which has been come now. So central lateral canine. Central lateral canine. So the canine should end. The canine should end from here to here according to these lines. Then this anterior border of tuberosity, till there only the teeth have to be arranged. That is why reason they have drawn an extended line here. Then this is the midline of the ridge, the crest of the ridge, which you are extending posteriorly onto the base. So all the anatomical landmarks have to be drawn first before making the denture base. And the last line which he has drawn, that is the extent of your denture base material. Now what you have to do is you have to take, this is how a separating medium looks. So with the help of cotton or a earbud, you start applying the separating media. So whenever you are applying, so you have to apply in a single direction from one side to the other side. Like in the video, it should not be moved from one to the other end, but only in a single way direction. So you have to apply on all the areas, onto the sulcus, onto the cast, onto the land area, how it is being shown in the video. No, it have to be applied all over onto the land area, into the sulcus. You have to check that it is being placed in all the buccal undercuts and all. So once it is applied, it has to be wait for 1 to 2 minutes, check such that everything is applied properly. And once it got right now, so this here the syringe contains the liquid and that bottle is the dispenser. So these two are the powder and liquid dispensers. So you have seen the needle has been bent. So that needle has been bent to avoid impingement into our hands and to create an angle when we are doing the procedure. So this white color bottle which you can see behind, that is the dropper which contains the polymer, ante powder undu. Okay. So we will take the monomer into the syringe and we take the polymer into the dispenser bottle. Now see the polymer. So here you have to first check the how much what is the flow of the polymer. Anta limited ga koncham మనం sprinkle చేస్తున్నప్పుడు రావాలి, ఒకేసారి full గా పడుకోకూడదు. And now when we are doing the technique, so first we have applied the separating media. Okay, it got dried. Now we started the sprinkle on procedure. The sprinkle on procedure first starts with liquid. Now first you have to apply the liquid. Then apply the powder. See how it is being sprinkled there. So this is the sprinkle on technique. So first of a layer మొత్తం ఒక సైడ్ అలా వేసిన తర్వాత again we have to add liquid onto that. So alternately liquid and powder have to be added. Always you have to start with liquid and end with liquid. First కొంచెం liquid వేసి powder వేస్తాం, మళ్ళీ liquid వేసి powder వేస్తాం, ఫైనల్ గా మళ్ళీ liquid వేసి సెట్ చేస్తాం. So first and last should be your liquid. So according to the thickness required, we add it layer by layer for 2 times to 3 times. So you can see again the polymer has been added and monomer has been added. Okay, and we wait for certain time until the reaction takes place. And we will move the cast such that it flow properly. Now we have went little forward, that is onto the anterior sulcus region. There again we started adding powder, sprinkling the powder, that is the polymer. and then we are adding the monomer. Again onto that some polymer and monomer. So in this way, first on to the one buccal side, then the labial sulcus, then the other labial sulcus, and to the other buccal sulcus. Okay. Okay. Now it has come to the other side. So here on the labial sulcus, and down to the buccal sulcus. So from one end to the other end, first on the buccal and labial sulcuses, we are adding the material. So depending upon the thickness, when we are doing, we have to check that the material has been flowing properly into those sulcus areas. If it will not flow into those sulcus areas, in the final process you may get voids over there, which will cause the unfit of the process into the patient's oral cavity. Now, once after completing all the labial sulcus area, now we have to come on to the palatal area. Now on the palatal side, either onto the right and left or any one side, first we will start on one side. We start adding it again similarly. First we add some monomer, then polymer and monomer, layer by layer on one side and to the other side. So polymer and monomer are added alternatively until the desired thickness is acquired on one side, and now we are coming to the other side. So this side is also done similarly. So once it is done on both the sides of, or that is palatal side on the right and left, and now we have completed the buccal and labial sulcuses, and we have completed the palatal side. Now what is left is your ridge. That is the crest of ridge. So here what he has done is, after doing to certain thickness on the palatal side, now when we are adding, we have to do is, we have to extend the material little on the crest of the ridge. That means here the angulation should be placed little slightly towards such that it will not flow off, it will not slip off. It should be, the cast should be hold at an angulation to hold the material in that area, and the monomer have to be added. Now on the crest of the ridge. So here the main problem is the material or the polymer now when you are placing on the crest of ridge, it will not stay there. It will slip off, or either onto the buccal sulcus or onto the other side. So here what we have to do is, first we have to place some monomer such that when it is wet, you add polymer and immediately you add some again monomer. So you have to do it little fast such that it will not slip off. So కొంచెం thickness attain అయిన తర్వాత, after attaining certain thickness, what we will do is, so in small areas, see here in the video you can see first he is completing the maxillary tuberosity area on one side. So immediately he is adding polymer and monomer alternatively such that the material will not flow out. Again now he is coming to the anterior side. So here it has been flown, no, that should not be flowed. If it is flown also, we have to remove it immediately. Okay, how he is removed from the land area? Why? Because it should be in the proper sulcus area. It should not come out of the proper sulcus area. Okay. Now what he will do is, what we have to do is, as you have seen, while placing on the crest of the ridge, most of the polymer is being flown onto the land area or onto the unnecessary area. So to avoid that, there is a simple logic or a simple technique. What we do is, we add this polymer and monomer together in this jar. Okay, we will get a certain required consistency. When it has not completely set, we remove that and we apply onto that crest area. So to the thin places in the crest are adjusted by applying some acrylic mix to improve the thickness. So we are taking certain polymer, we are adding some monomer to that of the required ratios required, and we are mixing it with the spatula. Okay. So it should be thin enough such that it flows properly. Now we will take little material and we start adding or adapting that onto the crest of the ridge. You have to observe that it is being adapted only on the crest of the ridge where the denture base is very thin, not onto the other areas. If you have to adapt it immediately after mixing. You should not wait until a down stage or the final stage has been come. Chala thin ka reaction outundi and setting consistency time lone you have to adapt. You have to take some amount of liquid and start adapting it to the cast, like how he is showing, to get a smooth even surface. Okay, to adapt the material which has been placed to the అండర్లైన్ స్ట్రక్చర్. అంటే మీ ముందు చేసిన డెంచర్ బేస్ తో పాటు ఈక్వల్ గా అడాప్ట్ అయ్యేలాగా కొంచెం కొంచెం మోనోమర్ వేసుకుంటూ అడాప్ట్ చేయాలి. So it has to be smoothened or adapted to the other sides with the help of monomer. Wetting the finger with monomer and adapting it. So wherever you feel there is a little thin areas, in all those areas you can add little amount, but you have to make sure that it is being adapted properly into the all areas and it is smooth enough. There should not be any elevations or depressions. It should follow the same anatomical same anatomical morphology. All should be replicated properly. This is your sprinkle on method technique for making the denture base material. Okay, now it has been completed, but now what we have to do is we have to wait for a certain time around. That shiny surface should be there. That means the monomer is present. Once the monomer gets evaporated, it will have a little less shiny. Now you have to place this like after around 15 to 10 minutes, when that glossy nature is left, you can see that the excess monomer has been set. Now we have to place this in a bowl of water for 15 minutes. So after 15 minutes, we have to take the cast from the outside and we have to try to separate the denture base from the cast. See the technique how he is removing. We have to apply pressure on one side indoor buccal sulcus region. The sulcus daggara pressure apply. Whatever material which has come over to the land area has to be removed first, and then in that sulcus area we have to apply pressure such that it gets separated from your cast. If you have not blocked out the undercuts properly, or if you have not applied the separating media properly, or the separating media which has been applied is not done properly, it will not come easily. If all are done properly, it will remove very easily. So this is the denture base which has come. So here you can see there is some stone which has been broken from the cast and has come along with your denture base material. The reason for this is maybe here the undercut has been not blocked properly, or the separating media which you have applied is not being applied properly. So here you can see here the separating media is not applied properly. That is the reason why it has broken. Here there is an undercut. How I am telling that here is the undercut problem and here is the separating medium problem is, here you can see a larger piece. కరెక్ట్గా డిప్రెషన్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుందో అండర్కట్ దగ్గర నుంచి పెరిగింది. ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే చిన్న చిన్న ప్యాచెస్ లాగా స్టోన్ ఉండిపోయినట్టుంది. ఎందుకు అంటే సెపరేటింగ్ మీడియా ప్రాపర్గా అప్లై చేయలేదు. అందుకే డెంచర్ బేస్ మెటీరియల్ అనేది స్టోన్తో రియాక్ట్ అయిపోయి కొంచెం స్టోన్ దీంతో పాటు వచ్చేసింది. That you can remove either with the help of carver, or you can trim it off. After that you have to trim it. I will tell you how to trimming and all done and how it have to be checked. So this is the sprinkle on method technique. Can you see the PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
So as I have told, have you seen in the video the sprinkle on technique method? Now this is how your cast denture base looks on the cast. So it is removed from your underlying cast and have to be trimmed. So after trimming, finishing and polishing, this is how your final self-cure denture base looks like. So again in this method, there are some problems. So after getting the final, means that the denture base after fabricating, there will be some problems. So what is the cause? By like how you can have seen, there is a break of the cast along with the denture base. So all those, there are certain problems. So it may not fit properly, it may be flexible, it may be very thin, it may be very thick. So what are the reasons for those problems and how they can be eliminated or corrected? The solution for that will be discussed in the next class. So in this class, you have learned what actually a record base is, what is the criteria for the record base, what are the different materials that can be used for making the base plates, that are temporary materials and permanent materials. Then the composition of autocure, advantages of self-cure acrylic resin. In the different methods, today we have learned what is the sprinkle on method. In the next class, we will discuss the other methods and the permanent denture base materials. Right? Want to ask anything? No? So while posting this PPT, I'll not post it right now. I'll post it later. If you want to see the sprinkle on technique again, you can see it in your YouTube. Just type in the Google as sprinkle on method for denture based resin. So you'll get multiple videos. In that you see the videos. Not only this video, there are other videos also. I don't have time to search all those, so I felt this is a little better. So I have shown this. You can see multiple videos regarding the sprinkle on method. There are other videos which will explain the finger adaptive method that I'll show you in the next classes. Now if you want to see again, you can see it in the YouTube. Okay, then we'll end up here in today's class. In the next class we'll discuss the next steps. Next class is on Monday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay then.